Alright, so here we go. Tomb of the Spider Queen. We're back with the RavenCourt. We have our first game of the day. So again, these are the exposition matches. The RavenCourt tournament, the real tournament, is going to take place in a couple of weeks, but we're having the preliminaries, so to say. If you're not familiar with the format, RavenCourt is pretty much an internal in-house bot that is hosted by some of the players and teams. And the whole idea here is to get good games together, since Storm League is obviously not that great, let's put it like that. So they have proper in-house matches, and they are going to try and also make the spot a little bit more popular, make sure that we have a tournament around it and get some exposure for it. But these are just games where all of the players that are interested to play in the tournament can just showcase themselves a little bit, and they also need to fulfill certain requirements to be eligible for the main tournament. You have to have 5 wins, which is pretty easily achievable as long as you participate in all of those play days. Now, we talked about this already a couple of days ago in the last session. Currently they have 2 sessions every single week where those games are being played, and that's what we're going to look at. But with the game at hand right now, so again, we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen first, and we have Cure playing over on the blue team side. The teams are mixed by the bot, so as a player you just sign up and then the bot puts players into a team, all based on an MMR system, and depending on who wins you get points. So it's actually a pretty cool concept, really well done, and for us it's pretty interesting because it just makes sure that we have a lot of mixed teams here. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, then you're probably familiar with the in-house tournament that we did, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, where we had a captain's draft, and at the end of the day this is going to be very similar to that. So one of the ideas is to break the rhythm, the flow a bit, make sure that it's not the established teams that play together, but that we have different players that are forced to adapt to each other. You have to also, of course, be able to on the fly make sure that you have a shot caller, that somebody is making calls, which at the end of the day is going to result in a few more mistakes, which makes the games quite interesting. We had some really nice core races just the other day, so today it's going to be interesting to see how exactly this is going to pan out. Also noteworthy, these are not best of 3s or anything, so these are actually just blue team against red team, a single map, and then we're going to head into the next one. So if you watch a video like this on YouTube, the videos usually contain several maps just to make this a bit more interesting. But yeah, Anduin in this case gets now banned out as well. And of course, depending on how many people participate on a given day, there's multiple matches taking place at the same time, so I might actually cover some of them just simply from replays. This one is obviously live since you can see a draft, but if you're ending up in a video or in a game where there's no draft, the explanation for this is pretty simple. I covered that particular match then from a replay and not live, so therefore no draft information. And I believe the last time that we did this, there were 3 games happening at the same time continuously throughout the evening, so there's obviously a ton of games that we have then access to later on. But yeah, just so they get a bit of an idea. And once that we're getting closer to the tournament itself, and the captain's draft are obviously going to keep you informed, but this is a good opportunity to see some of the players in different combinations with people that you might not have seen them with before, and also to get an idea of players that are maybe not all that familiar to you and that could just get a bit more exposure here before they then end up potentially in the tournament itself. Now we have in this case with Jojo and Leo a really nice front line here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. A lot of wave clear, of course, on the 2, so that's already solidified. Bishops is playing Sylvanas, one of his go-tos, would allow him to also get aggressive around spider pushes, whereas on the other side it is Mirrodin Blaze up at the front. And well, with that we're heading into the first game of the day. RavenCourt, once again, we're in playday number 2, and our map today is Tomb of the Spider Queen. Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 1 of the day. We have Cure on Blaze for the blue team, Captain Rex on Brightwing, Papa Smurf is playing Hanzo. In Spanish, that's actually called Papa Pitufo, which is really funny. I don't know why it's like I don't know why, but the word is just funny to me. We have Ion on Muradin, Banana H on Genji, which is also a cool position for him to be in. Obviously, most of the time you see him in a healer position, but he can play damage and is actually quite strong there too. On the right side in red, Fish on Johanna, Erath on Mephisto, we got Lopaka on Leoric, Bishops on Sylvanas, and Blu-ray is playing Rhaegar. Alright, let's see what they can pull off here. Which team is going to take it there today? Actually, probably gonna follow Cure in a couple of the games today. It's always cool to see somebody playing cross-server, and Cure is one of the few Americans that is playing on the European server as well, and is taking the opportunity to play here, participate in the RavenCourt, and I'm pretty sure that he's, of course, going to be picked for one of the teams for the main tournament then as well. But in the exposition matches, we now have the red team already establishing a bit of control between the mid and the top lane, trying to slow down Murden. Jojo gets a Stormbolt into the face for her troubles. But Papa Smurf is not really smurfing on the opponent here. That is not looking good. That's kill number 1. Hanzo is already gone. So, yeah, not too dominant from Hanzo here. He got a bit confused there. Found himself in the middle of 4 heroes all of a sudden. And yeah, that did not work well for him. So, unfortunately, Hanzo the first one to fall. We have, down to the bottom of the map, Blaze now trying to take the Siege Giants and claim them. And in the meantime, Mirrodin finds himself all the way up at the top. Now, if you want to have more information about the RavenCourt, there is also a crowdfunding for the tournament itself with multiple goals and achievement unlocks that you can get there. So if you guys are interested to find out a bit more about the entire concept and about the tournaments, then you can head into the description of the video if you're watching this on YouTube and go for the RavenCourt link that I'll leave there for you. And by the way, if you do that and you're already at it, then hit that like button too. Always nice for the YouTube algorithm to get that done. Whereas here in the middle, we have already a bit of damage being done, and only one team taking their cam. Nice engage by Banana H into the back lane. Cannot kill Blu-ray! Damn! Rega is still alive. Even Papa Smurf here wasn't able to pull it off. So the Shimada brothers not successful, but this little push in the middle of the map already bearing fruit for the red team as they dropped most of those structures down to 50% HP. So pretty nice for them, honestly. Sylvanas having an impact, obviously. I mean, duh. But yeah, nicely done. They got a kill, bit of damage in the middle. This camp was delayed, and oof, now Genji caught in the middle. Both of the Shibata brothers already dying once, so Banana H gets murdered one time. Here comes his brother, trying to get a little bit of revenge for honor. I don't think he's gonna get any. Instead, he's going to find just sweet death's embrace as he falls. Mirrodin is also barely hopping out. So things are currently not looking all too good for Cure's team. They are having some trouble. We're 3 minutes in, they already lost 3 heroes, and the red team is coordinating all of this extremely well. They haven't lost a hero, they're looking good on gems, they are getting closer and closer to the first potential turn-in. And these fights are looking pretty decent, but this time Blu-ray gets attacked again, and now they're taking Rega down. They weren't successful earlier, but they could pull it off this time, second time around. Brightwing also gone, and the gems, they are lost. So that's actually a real problem for the red team. They kind of fucked up here a little bit. Now, they lost way too many gems, honestly. They were at more than 40 gems, and I think they lost roughly 20 in total. So that's definitely a problem. We have 5 kills to 2. They were able to get a kill on Blaze. They themselves lost Leo. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the objective and control over the map, they had to give ground. So, doesn't really bode well for them here. We have now 5 kills to 2. Both teams on level 7. And it seems like the blue team might be the first one to walk away with Weapons. Oh, Genji, Banana H comes in, dashes out very quickly. Was no stun around to stop him, or that could have been the end. We're talking about the end. Leo! No! Leo is dead. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, he's not dead. He activated his trait, you know. Value! Massive, massive value. So, with that, we now have another hit coming in. Another quick stun, and Blu-ray goes down again. Now they're targeting him pretty heavily. Rega has now been attacked 3-4 times specifically, and he died twice. So maybe we were a little bit early calling the red team being slightly ahead here, because the blue team is now fighting back, and they're fighting back nicely. Good coordination, quick kills against the support in particular, and then really building on that. 4 kills to 5 overall. Teams are also tied here. And as you can tell, with 24 gems turned in, the blue team and the red team have now an opportunity to get the first set of web weavers and therefore the objective. Oh, Mirrodin! Oh, He is alive at 50 HP, but boy oh boy was that close. If he loses those 33 gems, then they are in trouble. Down to the bottom of the map, it seems that Leo is trying to buy some time for the rest of the team to show up and help them out as the siege times are being contested. And everybody is now moving in here. So Leo is still holding on to the spot. Bishops is doing damage with Sylvanas. They're forcing the blue team back as best they can. Camp is about to be taken, and they're also going to get some kills with this. Oh, that's not looking good at all. They lose 4. Brutal, absolutely brutal encounter. They're trying for Hanzo. They want to make this a 5-man team wipe, and they're getting the kill. Papa Smurf is dead as well, and holy hell, that hurt. That really hurt. Damn, look at this. They're all in the corner. Everybody's in the choke point, and they get completely murdered. That's 10 kills to 4 at this point in time. Level 10 soon coming in for the blue team, but they've lost so much already. Not only did the bottom fort get destroyed, but also the web weavers are being called down. Muradin is barely jumping away here. And this is rough. This is really rough. So, okay, we have now at least the heroic abilities for defense, but with all the structures that were already lost, it seems that the fort in the middle is likely going to fall as well. Bot lane has to be defended so that the web weavers are not getting closer to the keep, so they have to abandon the middle. At the top we have at least a defense set up, but it's not looking too great, so yeah. All the way up at the top, Muradin, he gets caught and killed. So the red team building on that momentum. They had the opportunity at the bottom of the map and the siege time camp was taken to get several kills, pull ahead, and then build on it. And that's exactly what they're doing. All of the forts are destroyed, and all of this happened with the first objective. And of course, a big problem for the blue team is also, since all of them died, they lost all their gems. I mean, literally everything. Yeah, tricky. Pretty problematic. Now, they already mustered a bit of an early game comeback previously, so maybe they can do it again. They are currently holding 25 gems. That's not quite enough for a turn-in. Banana Age is double-checking the boss at the top, but the red team is now ahead by 1.5 levels. They've done a really good job controlling the map. They removed the forts and therefore the fountains that are close to those turn-in points, so that's definitely good for them. But can they do more on this? That's the big question right now. And, well, they're gonna try. So Banana Age is already attempting to poke around the turn-in point, because the problem is that the red team has another opportunity to get Webweaver Wave number 2. They're also killing Hanzo again, and this is now the 3rd time, I want to say the 4th time that Hanzo has fallen. So that's pretty rough. Yeah, level 13 talents give another talent lead to the reds, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. This is starting to become extremely difficult. The blue team, they need kills and they need them quickly if they really want to have an opportunity to bring this back, but they first have to deal with the web weavers. So they need to set up a good defense, and then after they have that, they gotta win a team fight, and they gotta win it big time. The Shimada brothers just have to pop up here. Muradin going into Haymaker makes, of course, all of this a bit more aggressive, but it also means that if he's getting targeted at the front, then they can burn him down so much quicker. We have 28,000 as the top damage on the blue team side for Genji, 29,000 for Mephisto. And now another attack is coming, and this time it's a 2-level advantage plus a talent lead, so things are rough. They're definitely rough here. They need to somehow try and pull this off and defend, but it's got to be dicey. They're trying for Leo here, but that's also a lot of time that they're currently spending in the middle of the map. Leo drops the Entomb, knows that he's done for, but down at the bottom of the map, they're already breaking through the wall here. They don't want to get caught too much, but the Web Weavers are now going to move in straight for the keep, and if they can pull them into a fight for just a bit longer, that keep is going to take enormous amounts of damage. So they're trying to see if they can maybe even get the upper hand somewhere. Ult misses, arrow connects though. They're coming in again, trying to get the kill on Mephisto, but Rhaegar with the Ancestral just before the dog gets beaten. Rhaegar down, Web Weavers at the bot lane nearly defeated by Blaze, but Leo's about to come back. Doesn't have the Entomb yet, but a slow is still possible. They go for Muradin, they take him down. That's the main tank gone. Even with level 13 in their hands, they won't be able to stop the pain train now. Top side is getting attacked. There's Web Weavers trying to go for keep number 2 at the bottom of the map with Sylvanas down. Now moving in again, trying to remove it here. Entomb again gets dropped. And Banana Age, yeah, has to dash out. But the defense has actually worked off for them. I expected the red team to be more aggressive at the bottom of the map after they saw Blaze topside, which they didn't do. They want to have the talent advantage, as it seems, and still play around this massive lead and experience that they're holding on to. So they haven't pushed too hard, and that would now technically allow the blue team to come in here and turn in for their first weapon wave. Now, if they can pull this off, then that's the chance to take some structures down. They will still have to go up against an opponent that runs a level 16 talent over them. That's unavoidable. But you gotta bite the bullet at some point, right? I mean, you gotta pick your poison. Can't just sit there and take the beating all day long. That's a very interesting entomb. What was that? I mean, yeah, you got it, but Brightwing, first of all, can easily blink out. Second of all, there's nobody to follow up on this, so you just wasted a cooldown. I guess they assume they don't need the cooldown. He was just fooling around a bit, but I have no idea what the purpose of the entomb was. Oh, that's an NA arrow. That's an NA arrow. Look at that thing. Ooh, that's in the middle of nowhere. Irgendwo, nirgendwo. 13 kills to 6. Yeah, they're still poking a little bit. They don't want to push too hard with the Web Weavers. They're really afraid because of the lack of a level 16 talent. So they're still playing it slow. On the one hand, I applaud it for them trying to play it cool, calm, and collected and really wait for the perfect opportunity. Hanzo! I'm not sure if you saw that, but that was a big miss. So first he missed the arrow and then he missed the scatter shot. That did not do anything. It was kind of funny though. Yeah, he's definitely put on a lot of pressure here. The Web Weavers bought them time. They used it to get the level 16, so now it's an even game in talents. But the boss is being taken by the red team, which is kind of interesting because now that they're on 16, they're just going for it. Lopaka was at the bottom of the map for a little bit longer, but now that Cure is moving to the top, he's obviously realizing that something is happening here. They're trying to stall them, they're trying to move them away from the boss, and they're successfully at least doing that. If they can win the fight, that's a different story. There's another entomb, and this time there might actually be a follow-up. The bunker has been placed quickly though, but Hanzo is dead again. Papa Smurf is getting murdered over here. Yep, Muradin is also gone, and it seems like this is just a cleanup job at this point. Pure is gonna fall, Captain Rex is also eliminated. That leaves only Genji, and it seems like Banana H is the man on the mission now. He's like, I'm gonna kill at least something. So they're going for the structures here. But the top keep is, of course, getting eliminated at this point, and I think we all know where this is headed. This looks like a fairly clean victory for the red team. So a couple more MMR points for the players on the red team before we are going for the bot again, going for the next match here. But yeah, very nice performance here by the boys in red. Great job. They claim victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen and take down the boys in blue. 18 kills to 6. Very dominant performance here, especially after that big fight down at the bottom of the map at the Siege Giant Camp, of course, where things started to snowball and quickly turned into an avalanche. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Okay, another RavenCourt match. Now we are on Garden of Terror. Let's go. Next map is ready. So once again, we have not random teams really, but the bot is obviously trying to create a fair match and looking at the MMR that the players have accumulated in the RavenCourt. So all of these games will lead to a big tournament. These are the exposition games. We're going to have them for, I believe, 2 weeks. And then we're going to slowly head into the tournament itself. So once again, another match. We got Cure playing with Nano right now. It's actually a pretty solid team on the red side. Whereas over in blue, I'm interested how they can measure up to all of this. We've obviously seen all of those guys already in the last round that we had. But yeah, Garden of Terror is the map. I was a little bit curious how exactly they're doing maps in this system, and it was quite funny because the bot gives them literally 3 choices. It gives them 2 maps, so they can vote for 3. They can vote for map A or map B, which in this case was either Cursed Hollow or Garden of Terror. And then choice number 3 that they have is like random other map. So if you're really bothered with whatever you're getting and you don't want to play any of these 2 maps, you can still go for the random option and hope for the best. So it's pretty much the RNG option. But yeah, kind of funny. I like that a lot. Now when we're talking Garden of Terror, and particularly when we're talking about these random teams and mixes, then obviously one of the big things that stands out here is that you are drafting A to specifically target players on the other side that you know. Let's say, for example, as a one-trick pony, you can try and target them. But outside of that, you're drafting more so for the maps than anything else. And in this case right now, we have Hogger targeted, which makes, of course, perfect sense since Garden of Terror is a map where you rely very heavily on mercenary camps, and it has the most mercenary camps out of any maps. So Hogger can solo them extremely quickly and therefore create a lot of pressure against the other team. So one of the things that they're trying to eliminate early. Brightwing as a global healer and supporter can be a problem. Quick movements with Lucio and quick rotations between lanes. Another thing that you're trying to shut down as best as you can. So all of those bans definitely really leading to and leaning into this. Now, when it comes to picks, we still have, in this case, Rhaegar up, so Cure, in this case, picking him up, can still swap it out later. But the idea behind it is, of course, a bit similar to why you would take Hogger. You want to have a lot of damage on those camps, and Hogger with his lightning shield and just him as a support too can speed up camp clear. So one of the things that they're looking for right now. Whereas on the other side, we get Blaze very quickly, and we get Genji, so not too shabby. Yeah, Genji also, he brings the mobility. You have with Blaze also a very strong side laner. Diablo and Sylvanas. This is one of the things that I always find pretty cool in Garden of Terror, that is particular when you have Lucio with Sylvanas, which is obviously not the case here. Then you have a situation where you can try and out-rotate your opponent and just keep pushing because it's a super big map. So yeah, very interested to see if Sylvanas can out-rotate them a bit here, or if it's just really going for team fights and then for those terror pushes. Sergeant Hammer now also being eliminated and banned out. And yeah, for the final ban, could even target the front line here if they wanted to. Blaze has already been taken. Could target supports as well, obviously, if you want to eliminate something on that end. But I find the Sergeant Hammer ban also quite interesting here. Hammer is always a weird one. Gun of Terror, big map, so yeah. But again, red team, they're just gonna get rid of Greymane. Greymane, of course, another hero that excels at camp clear. Can also make Sylvanas' life a lot harder. Same goes for Rhaegar. But then at the end of the day, I still want to see what they're now going to do in regards to supports. Are we going to get Anduin, for example? Anduin together with Genji having the light bomb engage could really help them. So that might be a good choice for them here for Captain Rex. And yes, there it is. This is actually one of the supports that I thought they might just ban out. Captain Rex has played a lot of Anduin in the past, so it's not really a hero that... He's not going to have a problem with Anduin, so taking that away from him, especially since they're already running Genji, might have been a good idea here. But now we have a very strong front line with Blaze and Muradin. Anduin with Genji can bring the damage to the back line, and that could make things a little bit tricky for the team. But yeah, the final 2 picks here, let's see what we're getting. We got Yrel and we have Dehaka. So they're going triple frontline here, actually. Yrel, Diablo, always a very strong combo, and now they have some global power too with Dehaka, which I honestly like. They have Sylvanas as a solo damage dealer, but still, that frontline is absolutely terrifying. There's CC in there, you can bully people around, and you have then also, with Dehaka, some global control that you can execute. And the final pick for the blue team as we're heading into the game is Falstad, countering that a little bit. Making sure that they have some counterplay against Dehaka on the other side. So, well, with that, we're set for Garden of Terror. Let's go, boys. Next map here at the RavenCourt matches in our second play day. Game on! The blue team on the left on Garden of Terror with Captain Rex on Anduin. We have Dead Inside on Falstad. We get Lopaka on Genji, so the combo with Anduin is already working. Marl Karks is playing Blaze, and we got Ion on Muradin. Whereas over on the right side of the map in red, we have Johan with Diablo. We got Banana H on Rega, Cure playing the Haka, Porky on Urel, and Nano is playing Sylvanas. So, now with that... you could look at the coordination here. Captain Rex with the mount, you know, with everything. Color coordinated, he has the mount there. Everything is set up properly. So gotta give the man some credit for that. So at least in this case, if Anduin is running away, he's running away in style. But the aggression in the middle and at the top has already started. In the middle it is the Haka who's getting attacked a bit. We have Banana H on support, so as expected, Cure switched away from Rega. And is now playing a hero that he is a lot more familiar with, and that is the Haka. So he's going to try and make all of those global plays for them. And already we're having very aggressive posturing from both of the teams. I mean, Muradin is all in the face of the red team, hitting a Storm Bolt after another. And yeah, top side, there's also some pressure being applied by Nano. He's now the one playing Sylvanas here. Iona's ready. In the middle of the map, we got Porky that is getting pushed back too. And down to the bot lane, dead inside, just doing his thing against Cure, the two globals, so that they can always leave the lane together, so just facing off against each other. But what I said earlier is again happening. The blue team is just absolutely going for it. They're super aggressive with this. Now Cure is moving in a little bit faster, Falset is not flying, and Muradin dies. So blue team with a lot of aggression, but the reaction is there nearly immediately from the red team. They're putting Cure to the top and they are able to get the kill. Now that inside is likely going to get some value down at the bottom of the map at least, but it's not quite working out the way that they intended here. Instead they're going for Porky and prevent Sylvanas from moving down to the bottom of the map. So a bit of experience is likely going to be lost there. Not too much. Some damage is going to be done at the gate too. But this camp that has been claimed by the red team is now in full push power at the top, and thanks to Sylvanas they might be able to do a bit more damage than they usually would be. So already moving in for that. Level 4 talents are starting to kick in quickly. Camp is already taking one of the towers down. Urel moving down. Cure looking for a Tong. Not able to do too much, but again, they did take down the gate. They did take down the tower. So not too bad, and Cure is, now that he's stuck at the top lane, still continuing that push, so good for him. Diablo, first one to fall, so he gets eliminated. Taken down by Genji in the middle, quite pay attention. But the structural damage at the top seems to definitely be worth it. Seeds are up, team still going for the camps, that's Barrega, comes, as explained earlier, into play again, so he can speed this up quite a bit with his lightning shield. And on top of this, we're now having another push executed in the middle thanks to those, but the seeds will be taken eventually. Nobody's really making a move for it just yet. There's also a lot of interrupt potential, of course, coming from the red team, just simply because they have so many hit point heavy heroes that they can easily just push in there. With level 4, we got the Hand of Freedom, the goat. The American goat over here. And over on the left side, we're currently looking at another invade. This time it is the red team that is trying to steal a camp. And you know what? They're successful. Job well done. They're able to move in and claim it. Take this one out. So yeah, well played. Top side, Blaze. He is now making an attempt to get some damage onto structures. But the rest of the blue team is hovering around at the bottom of the map where the seed has spawned. Level 7 has of course dropped for both. We get the Boomerang, and on level 1 we get the Gathering Storm for Falstad. It's just camp after camp after camp. Urella's gone into the Holy Avenger on level 7. We also get the Festering Wounds for Nano and his Sylvanas. Everybody is just trying to poke a little bit. Everybody is going for camps, trying to set some pushes up. And these little attacks like we're seeing here against Captain Rex are just happening all the time in an attempt to get another kill and get your team ahead a bit. The 1v1 at the top is getting a little bit more difficult for Blaze, as you can tell. He doesn't have any access to those towers anymore. And also going for Genji. So Cure is coming in, trying to connect the Tong. Gets stunned though, so couldn't really follow up with that. Good moves from Urel, but just not good enough for them to follow up on it with another kill. But a lot of poking is happening from the teams. Everybody is just looking for opportunities here and for the better position. So up at the top, we now have Blaze moving in again, trying to poke this out. Muradin over here With the help of Genji, they could try and sneak the seed, but they have to always deal with these pressure plays from Sylvanas in particular. And if they now would go for the objective, they would of course lost way too much at the bot lane. You can't just sit there and lose half your wall just for that. So another attack coming. This time it's a 4 versus 3 down here that leaves the Haka more wiggle room up at the top that he could use. Can of course always move back down if he has to. But now that Blaze is getting attacked by Porky, and that allows the Haka to easily go for the top side. So this is a nice move that they're doing. At the bottom of the map, the attacks are also continuing, so another push is going on there. Top side, 2 versus 2 now. Markarx is getting attacked pretty heavily here. Even that inside on his false side had to help out because that fort was threatened. So now what we're seeing instead is a 2v2, which at the same time allows Sylvanas again to push out the bot lane, and they are taking down another gate here. So these little two-pronged attacks that we're seeing from the red team are currently working out for them. They have, of course, the same amount of mobility that we're seeing from the blue team, thanks to both of them running a global. But the extra threat of having Sylvanas here is becoming more and more of a problem. Level 10 abilities are in, another tower is down, and Anduin is all alone right now. And as we all know, Anduin in a situation like this is not going to do jack shit. He can't clear these waves, he can't push them back. Another Haymaker game, by the way, and now we have, of course, Light Bomb also for Genji, so that changes things a little bit. That will at least allow them to try and attack the backline, so they're going to make an attempt for Sylvanas eventually. Gus is being used here at the top too, trying to take some camps out, but Blaze in trouble, has to bunker it up. Camp claimed by Cure, so they can safeguard their own camp. And Genji moved back out as they're trying to go for Sylvanas, and he had to be saved by Anduin. Couldn't get the kill. Nano alive, Genji too. Both of them make it out, but so much aggression on the map. Every lane continuously being attacked here. Not a single seed has been taken. We're 7 minutes in, and not one objective has been claimed. They go again for Blaze. Oh, makes it out. No, he doesn't! Urel, the space goat. The goat comes in, tries to jump away here. Porky might be in more trouble than I expected. Yeah, he gets caught by Genji. They come in, cut him off, and now Rhaegar also very deep, and they're punishing them heavily. Nice. Very well played by the blue team. They're trying for another kill, and they get it. It's a triple, baby. They get all 3 of them. Sylvanas is down at the bottom of the map and is just easily pushing into the fort now. So at least they're getting some damage done here. So it's a really weird situation because the top fort has now fallen. So this one was eliminated. The bottom fort has taken enormous amount of damage. But while all of this happened, they lost 3 heroes. So it's 4 kills to 3 now. But they heavily pushed ahead in structures. I mean, are cold worth, honestly. The top lane fight could have been played out a little bit better. Porky obviously tried to jump away and kind of missed it a little bit, so that forced them to try and help him, which eventually cost them 3 deaths. But they did so much work on all of these structures that it's kind of worth it. The experience gap isn't really there anymore, but at least structurally they now have the edge over the opponent's team. Now, the first seed has also been taken by the blue team. They got a bit of map control thanks to all of this, and they used it immediately. We have now 24,000 damage from Sylvanas. We get 31,000 from Genji. And the Haka is still not being dealt with. I mean, the Haka is still doing his thing here. The problem for them is that Urel is in the middle, so it's a 3-1-1 split that we're seeing from the red team, defending at the bottom of the map against these 4. But while this is going on, it allows for just so much more pressure from the 2 additional heroes. The Haka now coming in, hitting the isolation. Blaze is trapped up at the top. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Porky moved in from the side after the gust was used by Falstad to give them some space to escape here. But yeah, Blaze is caught top, so he needs to move back. And as all of this happens, there's siege giants in the middle of the map that are doing some damage to the structures too. So Blaze has a lot to do here. Needs to rotate over again. Another gate has been destroyed. And despite the amount of kills that we're seeing for the blue team, on the map they are starting to lose ground. And here comes another engage, and this could very well end up in a kill or 2, because Blaze isn't here yet, so this is technically a 5 versus 4. Blaze was now trying to come in, but got stopped by Urel again as another seed gets announced towards the top this time. And also much more towards the right side of the map, which is going to favor the red team by default, of course. But, yeah, real interesting. Now, as is, we got, of course, the Bronze Beard Rage on level 13 for Muradin. With this level 4 choice. I mean, pretty much the only viable choice here. If you go on level 4 for Reverberation. Which still tilts me. That talent name tilts me so hard, you have no idea. This is not Reverberation. The other talent is Reverberating, not this one. Sylvanas is gone. And with that, we have no range damage dealer for the red team. So all of a sudden, Diablo is also in trouble and he gets killed. They're trying for another one. Gust in this case, not quite sure if that was really needed. That helped them more than it hurt them, so 2 of them are still escaping. But the lead and experience is there, and the blue team is really building on it. It's a really interesting game. On kills, we have an advantage for the blue team, and they're also dominating, therefore, on the objective. But structurally, the damage has been done, mostly, by the team on the right side of the map. So, it gets interesting here. As death timers continue, it is advantageous to the blue team, since with every kill they get, they will have more wiggle room. This time it allowed them to take the bruiser camp away from the red team, and now they're going for the top fort. They have an early level 16, of course, as well. Finally, they should be able to take a fort down, but they're splitting their forces pretty thin, attacking the middle and the top lane all at once. So I'm not sure if that's really going to work out for them. Especially since 16 is getting closer and closer for the red team as well. And they can defend the top. So they defend the top lane. And now they can deal with the middle. But I'm not quite sure who's going to take it there yet. Obviously, the red team has also all the tools that they need in order to get a few kills here and eventually pull farther ahead. The blue team is struggling to get any real structural damage done outside of the top lane. If, on the other hand, they are able to grab the next seed and get the Garden Terrors, then that's a different story, because then they could just use the objective to get all of that done. But I believe that with the Haka and Sylvanas on this side of QS team, there's a chance that they are just going to try and out-macro them a bit as the game continues. And now that they have catapult pressure, at least an amount of catapult pressure, at the top and the bot lane already, thanks to the 2 forts that they've eliminated, there's a real chance that they can set this up. Interrupt is obviously happening. Banana Age is trying again. Has to help out though. And the Haka is still at the top. So they're continuously doing this. Urel also in trouble. Might get away with Rhaegar now moving in. So yeah, she's fine. And in the meantime, Cure is pushing the top lane out. Forces Falstad to react to him. And could allow him to just come back to the bottom of the map again if they really want to fight for this one. Because, of course, the red team has to, right? If you want to avoid the Garden Terrors, you got to do something about it. You can't just simply sit there and let this happen. Oh, nicely done. Great block. Nicely dodging out on this. And now the barbecue on Anduin. Pretty boy has his hair burned to a crisp. So, yep, now he joins the Baldy Club. Nicely done. Good move from Diablo. Now that they got not only the seed, but also the kill, they can go and steal some of the camps away. Good reaction from the blue team. I like it. They go to the top and they take the fort down. So that's the best that they could do here. Genji, on the other hand, gets caught in the middle and gets killed. So a lot happening here. First the kill on Anduin, then they take the camp. Blue team reacts, eliminating the top fort. But in the middle, Genji gets caught. Another kill, a staggered death on the blue team side. And the momentum is there for the red team. They come in and they are claiming another fort and are already knocking on those keeps. So very, very nicely done. Very nicely done here. Bot lane, there was also a camp that they took earlier that helped them a bit more. The Haka is immediately moving over to the right side, trying to take some of the remaining camps on the map. And even the siege giants at the top have now been stolen. So those few kills that we saw for the red team definitely were exploited extremely well by them. And they're getting a second seed as a result too. So now both of them are dead even when it comes to the objective. Gas had to be used there again. I'm not really a fan of these gusts. It's like the second gust that I feel is a little bit questionable. I mean, it disengages, obviously, but it always looks like they might be able to, you know, get a kill, maybe do a bit more damage. In this case, it was Diablo that was stunned by Muradin, and there was a lot of damage on him, too. We have 52,000 now on Genji, 42,000 on Sylvanas. Blue team is obviously just trying to slowly, yeah, just get back, right? Like, they have to stabilize again. But experience is dead even. This is a really cool game. I really like it. There's a lot of different approaches that we're having, and now the blue team is getting a bit more aggressive in the way that they're posturing on the map. So yeah, Urel is now moving in, starting to do some work here and pushing them away from the fort. But the Haka is still on the camps. The Haka is taking camp after camp after camp the way that he should as a solo laner. But another nice move in the middle, so a bit of damage done. Again, it's not too much, but they can always poke this down slowly, steadily, get some hits in, move Genji out after that. So yeah, nearly able to destroy this. The Haka taking another camp, trying to go back towards the top. And keep in mind, this has already taken damage. The seed now claimed though, much better position for this one. Wasn't even fought over. Level 20 talents is something that both of the teams wanted, so Garden Terrors end up for the red team first. Which is super cool if you think about it. They were behind by 2 and then they took 3 in a row. So bringing this back was definitely not easy for them. But it is the blue team now that has to try and defend this. Hellgate already being used, the attacks are there. And there's the wind tunnel, even the bunker. Blaze! Yeah, he gets out. Blaze gets out. The attack is coming at the top, the middle, and the bottom. The longer they can occupy them topside, the more damage those Garden Terrors are going to do in the rest of the map. Light Bomb Engage is there. They're coming in with another follow-up stun, going for Cure and the Haka, but the Ancestral was already hitting, and they're keeping everybody alive. They just can't break through that front line. The three melee heroes, they're just too tanky for them. And now the middle and the bottom are getting attacked as well, so it's really tricky for the blue team to split their forces and try and defend all 3 lanes. It's nearly impossible at this point, honestly. The poke is continuing. Bot lane is already attacking the keep. In the middle, some damage has been done there too, and all the way up at the top. Yes, they have fallen back for the time being, but they're still looking for an opportunity here. So keeps have taken damage, all of them, especially the one at the top and the bottom. But they weren't able to take one out yet. So they're slowly moving back here. But still, good attack. Would have loved to get a keep, of course. Couldn't quite make that work. Defense just too strong. And the blue team attempting to, not only push out the map a little bit, but they also have to get the next seed ideally, so that they can get some pressure and take some structures down. Wind tunnel into the corner. The engage is there. They're trying for it this time. Urel already in trouble, has to pop the ult quickly. 6 kills to 4. They're trying to get a few more, and it seems like Urel is on the menu, but no goat meat today. Urel is able to get out. They're trying for another stun and just missed the mark, but the Haymaker puts Diablo into a corner. They cannot follow up on it though, or can they? Here comes the light bomb. Diablo with the Hellgate, and he gets out. Cure gets caught on the Haka, but Diablo escaping there is ridiculous. He was on 20 hit points or something like that. Hellgating it out at the last moment in time. Big plays now. 7 kills to 4. Blue team looking for that momentum, trying to get additional kills. They're trying to get some staggered deaths on the blue team side. Really nicely done. 18 minutes in, the seed is spawning. Gonna pop up in 27 seconds. The Haka will be back a few seconds later. They can just interrupt a little bit. It's gonna be fine. Wind tunnel with a decent angle here, but is it good enough? It is. Sylvanas got caught. Sexy plays from dead inside. He's hiding in the bushes, gets the wind tunnel angle. They take down Sylvanas, they take down Rhaegar, they destroy the fort, and now they're going for Diablo. The red team is falling apart. Blue team found themselves in real trouble as the first Garden Terrors were claimed by their opponents, but now they are coming in with one hit after another, and they're just slamming them into the ground. Beautifully played. What a cool execution here. They played this so incredibly well, and now they're trying to build on it. They're trying to push through the middle and claim a keep. Over here, we have Blaze attempting to make a move for the seed, but Cure is already there. So the two of them going toe-to-toe. Just so well done here. And especially Falstad, obviously, with that gust angle. So cool. Hiding like a ninja in the bushes and then just coming in with a perfect hit against Sylvanas. They're going for the keep. Falstad has now started to channel. Problem is, down here, this keep might fall as well. So it seems like they are going for core. I don't know they can pull that off. That might be a little bit too much for them to... Well, they got Garden Terrors. The Garden Terrors, okay, that changes things. Yes, they obviously have the third one. All right. Garden Terrors, that's a bit of a different story. So now the wind tunnel is already there, even with heroes respawning. This looks great. And the blue team, they turn their game around and win it. Garden of Terror, nicely done, and a well-deserved victory for the boys in blue.